Popova, and I'm developer evangelist at Whatever Mobile company. So actually, during last years, we finally start understand that a lot of data. My sound? Yes, so we have a lot of sensors around us, and we have a lot of data coming from them, but we don't actually know what to do with this data, how to analyze the patterns inside of it, and definitely in the future, making sense of this data will be more and more important during every day. So today, during my talk, I would like to discuss with you actually what will be in the future when we combine artificial intelligence, IoT, and the general tools as a developers. What's wrong? Okay. So next try. The company where I'm working is just a brief introduction. So it's a big mobile messaging aggregator in Germany. We provide a lot of different solutions worldwide, and because we have more than 15 years experience in different fields of IT and mobile connectivity, we decided that this year we want to start some new projects in IoT because it's like a new trend. It's, I would say, one of the most popular words during this year. So just a brief introduction that we have about 50 excellent employees who help me to in these projects. We also have access to more than 400 worldwide networks, mobile networks worldwide, and an excellent platform availability. So usually when I start the presentation, I talk first about quantified self. It's a well-known term, very popular nowadays also because it's kind of self-knowledge through self-tracking via technology. Almost all of us nowadays want to find different patterns in our life, and for these purposes we collect as much data as possible about us, like even about our mood, about level of oxygen in our blood, and so on, just to find out how to save time or save our life easily. So IT nowadays is kind of driving this to a new epoch or age where the old style systems start to migrate to infrastructure with a highly availability, which is highly available, highly intellectual, and has a lot of services. So if you heard the predictions in 2020 told us that there will be a lot of connected devices and a lot of data per person, and we don't even count data about connected dogs and cats because it also will be there. So how we will decide to make all this data actionable? Of course, for this moment, only artificial intelligence came to us and helped us with this problem. So sometimes it's better to stop and think what the future will bring to us. Will we be happy with this or not? I think there have been a lot of topics during this conference already about artificial intelligence and robots around us. So nowadays, artificial intelligence already reached a point where they can provide really valuable input to all tasks which performed by human till now. But once computer will fully simulate the brain, it will be kind of intelligence explosion around us. So there are a lot of movies from 70s, 60s where already, I don't know if you know some robots like Marvin, for example, from Guide to the Galaxy, yeah? And like when he's saying that my mind is so big, it's like 2 galaxies, but I need to open a door for you. So will the robots at the end and these artificial intelligence systems decide should we stay on this planet or not, and how we will control this? Basically, I will give you a lot of examples what we already have nowadays connect it machine to machine, basically, but if we'll connect it to human, how it will affect us at the end. So, yeah, this is one of my favorite sentences. I would say that IoT won't work without artificial intelligence, because IoT kind of us producing a high stack of data, and what we try to do, we try to find a needle in this high stack, and artificial intelligence can help us, because it's like an essential part of IoT. And you know that every large corporation nowadays, they try to connect all information as possible about their clients, like, you know, Amazon collecting everything about you while you're buying something, or Netflix while you're watching. So, but they need to analyze this data to offer you more at the end, to improve their business models at the end. So, Internet of Things without artificial intelligence, it's just data which is flowing from device to device, and it doesn't make any sense. And if we will plan to, let's say, IFIing, which is IoT, it's like a big new deal in our life. So at some point, Internet of Things, of course, will become the biggest source point on our planet, and only artificial intelligence can help us to understand where the opportunities truly are. In order to analyze data immediately, we also still need to find some ways how to collect data, because nowadays we have so many connectivity solutions which doesn't really work and doesn't really show us a good performance at the end. So in our company, we try to find different ways how to first start with collecting data, then how we will aggregate this data, and at the end, how we will analyze it and what kind of actionable actions at the end or actionable results it will perform. So basically, what we start at IoT is converting all objects that surround us every day into a community of information, and there are, of course, sensors are necessary to turn billions of these objects into a community of information. But these sensors, they can connect in different ways. The most popular, of course, is like what we always first think is Wi-Fi nowadays, but it's always limited to access point. So your IoT device at some point will lose this connectivity. So as we are working in mobile messaging area, we thought about SIM cards, kind of, which can work everywhere. But connected it to IoT topic, there should be some criteria which you can which can bring you success at the end. So, because given the ubiquity of a lot of devices, SIM-based devices, you can achieve actually an unbelievable level of coverage of any event and any location at any time. And this data will give you patterns about what's going on, for example, in the city. Or mobile connectivity nowadays is becoming an integral part of IoT because most use cases designed for mobility. And combining it with artificial intelligence will actually bring us to a new life where you can see that everything around us is just sensors which collect data about us. Yeah, so, but from a developer's point of view, when we have an IT device, we want to connect it, there is so many problems like different configurations of the device, different network configurations, different APIs, limitation and dependencies of the different providers or operators. There is also very hard to understand the security policies, how you should work with the data which you collected by via another channels, for example. And so if your device is bound to a single provider, it's always really hard to achieve and coverage of your connectivity which you would need. So what we thought as a team that we don't want anymore something like useless dashboards and notifications and sorry. And what we want to do at the end, that we want to enable developers to create services that can adapt immediately to their users. So if we will look at IoT like workflow, how it usually works, our main focus nowadays is communication. It's how to collect data smart. The second is aggregations, it's how to speed up the data collection and data analysis, and also the next step is how accurate this data analysis will be at the end. So for these purposes, we thought about 5 really simple questions, like what you as developers should think up front when you think about IoT at the beginning and about any project. So we start with if you want your device to be mobile. This will really help you to choose a connectivity provider for your purposes. It's also not only that your devices can move somewhere, it's also in a purpose if you have a lot of devices in different countries, for example, sorry, that it's very important to give a right answer on this question. The second question was, do you have your business model, business processes when you want to integrate this data immediately, and how to do this? The next question, of course, is very important in IoT about security. How much security your project needs, because different connectivity solutions, they give you different levels of security. The next question which we thought about was how often do you need to access of your device? Do you need to connect just once per day, or it should be every second connection, permanent connection? And the last question was, where do you use your device? Because we had some customers who want to use it in a harsh metal environment, or another IT projects, for example, for tracking polar bears. So the connectivity solution should be suitable for different IoT projects. So when we start develop our solution, first what we thought about connection quality, that it would be cool if we can require a permanent connection with the maximum existing possible coverage worldwide, and with the possibility to switch to the strongest connectivity every time. The next question, need, we call it needs, was advanced security. So we thought that would be cool to have IP restrictions, and that you can lock your device to a specific connectivity solution. In our case, we, as you already probably understand, we're developing SIM cards, so you can lock it to a specific device. And also it would be cool to have an integration to a customer with VPN tunnels. So the next need was to have access to your device. So we decided it would be cool to have a static IP addresses, and that it would be possible to do bidirectional communication and also have a monitoring real time. So the next was a flexibility, as I told you already about harsh environment, and nowadays it's very popular to do these parking sensors, for example, which works only for the connectivity there works for 8 years, which means in 8 years you need to completely take them away and change everything. So we need a solution which can provide a longer communication. And the next need was control and automatization, which basically what I will present to you today mostly is that you can control all your devices in real time, debug and connect to them without physically being on the place. And we have for this purpose a customer portal, and we created our own API. So this is how it looks like, this connectivity solution, but on the top of this, we now building our artificial intelligence platform, which will analyze all data. So it's extremely scalable, completely cloud-based, globally distributed. You are not dependent on any mobile network operator anymore. You can completely configure everything what you want by yourself. So from implementation side, there is no more difficulties, no different prices, nothing. You just put it in an IoT device and it works. And all SIM cards are API programmable, so you can collect data immediately from them. And this process can make a decision-making process much smarter and quicker, because we also have a REST API, yes, as I told. Then we also provide a VPN tunnel to all devices, and it's completely encrypted, so security is on kind of high level, and you can connect your device by IP address, by static IP, and you don't require any VPN client on the device, so you can, in our case, if you see on the top, there is a picture how usually providers give you access, and on the bottom, this is our way. So we already encrypted the first connection to our port service, and then we have access to all SIM cards. Very quick that what you can do, you can choose any networks, you can set up all limits, you can choose any profiles, everything by yourself. And different data packages. We have a data pooling, which means it doesn't matter if one SIM card uses a lot in one device and another use almost nothing, they still share the same pool. This is today's morning picture where devices are now available, they're working, and we're really covering almost all countries, as I know, except Botswana. Yeah. With our API, you can patch your IoT device immediately, and there is real-time changes. You can turn on, turn off device, you can track location, and there is a lot of source code available on our GitHub account, so you can go and see. And but how I want to connect this topic to IoT, we want to show you a lot of use cases where it's already used, that you understand how our life will change in the future, and if we all together will build on the top of this artificial intelligence platform, it will become, our future will become even more and more, I would say, different than we used to see it now. So we know that these IoT cases are around us everywhere nowadays, in payment terminals, fleet management, smart metering, very popular e-health monitoring and smart home topics, but also messaging bots, for example. So this summer, I was a speaker on a Google conference in San Jose, and they give us a case like 2 weeks before the conference. Can you quickly create a device with your SIM card which will work everywhere and track seniors? Because, for example, imagine that you are 82 years old, you feel still quite well, but you have some, of course, problems, for example, with your blood pressure. And your relatives want you to move to assisted accommodation, but you would prefer still to stay at your place. So we created this device. You can see the whole story again on our GitHub account. And so this device was just Arduino board with GSM shield and pulse sensor, which was connected to it. So you can basically buy it in any online very easily, very cheap, and play already today with this because all sketches is also available. And what opportunity it gives that whenever a senior, for example, in a supermarket, where he doesn't have any other connectivity, like no Wi-Fi, no Bluetooth, if something happened with him, the mobile network can still trigger an emergency call to your parents or doctors if something happened with the person. And this solution, of course, immediately was interested by a lot of e-health providers. So this is some sketches. They're very simple to do, very simple connection. You don't need to, like, just IoT commands to send data from the device. And very simple visualization. So I have some SIM cards with me, so whenever, if some developers want just to play today already or do some projects, it's very easy to do. Okay, where else we're using this? It's the next case is alarm system providers. Whenever someone enters to a home, you need to receive immediately an emergency call, or if there is some changes. So now alarm system providers, they build platform which can analyze what's really going on in your house. They can even analyze voice and understand if there is people around, or it just, for example, a cat moving, so it's nothing critical. So with this SIM card, of course, you can immediately trigger an emergency call again. So it's very important for, and very perspective, for time-critical services when you need connectivity immediately. The next project was very cool. It was for a donation project for in Germany. And the guy did the stand-up paddling and for 12 days from Munich to Vienna on the river. So for him, it was very critical that the network on the river are not so good. There's sometimes a network lost or not, but there is always available another one. So the SIM card was changing all the time, networks connected to different mobile operators. Every 2 seconds was sent a signal with his location, and at the end, after 12 days, the amount of data which has been used was about 20 megabytes, which almost nothing. And of course, the location tracker devices providers, they immediately want to have this kind of solution, because you can just put it in any car or moving object, and it will just be connected on all way. So another case which we created, we've done it together with IBM, because they wanted to have the same device but in shipping containers. So it's going around somewhere in the sea, for example, and whenever it connects to the network, it's probably connection to internet is always much worse than connection to, like, you can send SMS in any case almost if you have a network. So we're sending all this data, which usually we transport via just normal 3G, via SMS. And there is a workflow how we understand that we are not connected to the internet, that we don't receive any notifications that it's stored in database, so you can send an SMS with the same information. You can also find this on our GitHub, and then you can visualize very easily this data. We did it in CouchDB, and for example, these are all places where I gave my talks about Wherever SIM, I think in the last 2 or 3 months. The next, what we've done also, we created our, of course, now it's very popular. We work with Facebook and for payment systems. So because we are in mobile area, we create our own system which analyze if the customer is agreed that he wants to receive all information via Facebook or not, and at the end, if not, they send a normal SMS, and it's done like in 2-3 seconds, based on the previous history, based on from which providers he agreed before, which he denied. So it's also very easily like you can use it immediately, I would say, right now, and see how does it work. Actually, the main people who wants to combine artificial intelligence and IoT, it's retail stores, which is around us, like in Germany it's Aldi, Lidl, and Rossmann, for example, like big, because they have shops everywhere and they don't want to have a contract with different providers in different areas. They just need a solution which could work everywhere. They just have one contract. And on top of this IoT device should be very smart to understand which data he is sending about what customer, and because what they want to achieve nowadays is that immediately when you're buying something, they give you discounts about what you want, because nowadays everyone just going to buy something online, so they still need to defend their business and help themselves somehow to bring customers back to them. As you understand about already automotive areas, but that whenever device moving, it will be connected everywhere. But what is more interesting is that, for example, car rentals or delivery services, they won't immediately understand for example, driving style of driver. How is it? Is it energy efficient or not? If something happened with the vehicle, or if there is changes on the road. So they want to have a system which can immediately analyze how to change the road, for example, or to send a signal to a driver that he is too fast, for example, or something is. They even want to have a point system at the end, as we all, nowadays we every day rate like Uber drivers, for example. They also want to have the same rating, but based on analysis of pure data, how fast some roads, for example, or how good some drivers are. The next is very interesting agriculture industry, because UN nations predict that in 2100 we will have 11 billion of people, and these people all have to be fit, but at the same moment our farming is so damaging our earth nowadays. So it should be very precisely very effective farming in the future. So what they propose to have these drones which can analyze everything around and tell the farmer immediately, so this is a place where you have to apply herbicides, and this is a place where you have to apply more water, for example. And they even can, what they want to do in the future is that they want to bring some species from one field to another by these drones, to where it really needs, for example. Yeah. Of course, the big topic is a smart home, because everyone nowadays want to have girls definitely want to have it, that whenever your washing machine is finished, it starts immediately iron something. It would be very cool. And also, winter is very popular, smart heating. Whenever you're at home, it starts, or if the system analyzes that you're on your way to home, that it starts heating your home. Even on one conference a week ago, they tell about a smart shower, which is preparing a shower for you 5 minutes before you're going there, and with your perfect temperature. And so there is a big field and a big need about connectivity in different areas. So what at the end I would like to tell you is that nowadays we need to think, if we want to have this smart intelligence system which can predict our behavior or not, because there is some cases which I would say it's really needed. For example, the case when you are every day going home from work, the same time, the same amount of steps, and the system knows this is your way home. But at some day, something happened and you are running, your pulse is beating fast, you're in a fighting mood, and This system will immediately trigger a call to, for example, to police, or start to push notifications to devices around you to say someone is in danger. And then, of course, I would say I would like to have this system with me. Or if there is a system which can calm us down and help us and support mentally, this is very cool. But we never know how what will the next step bring us. Maybe this system one day will decide that the humans are not necessary anymore, and yes, maybe it sounds funny, but who knows how the future will be. And so all examples which I give you nowadays, it's already real, it's not non-fiction, and all these examples you connect machine to machine, basically. But on the next level, when you will connect a real human to this machine, it will be completely a new epoch, a new era of communication between robots, computers, and humans. So what is my main point in this presentation? That we are, as developers, we together can use all our knowledge to think upfront and to understand how we can make all our efforts every day to bring it into actionable results in our future. That you can use a simple solution, collect a lot of data, but use it smart at the end. And there is, of course, different possibilities of using IoT and artificial intelligence are completely endless, and because the insights from this data are endless, but I would like that all of us will use this data in a smart way and in a kind way, not against humans, I hope. So what else I wanted to say? I believe that also IoT and artificial intelligence will come on and will progress in the next years. So I think a lot of people should concentrate on these topics. And at the end, as you know, I already told about our SIM cards. I have some with me for free. You can test it. You can see, you already can start playing with the projects, because our main focus is big companies. And as a developers, we just want to enable you to create more ideas and to bring IoT to the next level. And this is our GitHub account. As I told, you can find some examples there. And it's very simple, whatever mobile, wherever SIM. We're very easy with naming. And if you have any questions, I'm available. There is my Twitter, Facebook, personal email, anytime about IoT. Thank you for your attention, guys.